If you've seen videos from this channel before, you know this is my background. I film myself from here. I talk a lot from here. This is the mannequin, the shelving unit, the antique sewing machine, and when I film myself while sewing, you see me more or less from there. What you can't see is the mess I have under here. The thing is that they are either things that are too big to go in the drawers or things that I don't want to get rid of but I'm not going to use in the near future. So I have to organize this. This is such a mess. And because storage is a bit limited here in my sewing room, the only storage place I have is here underneath the cutting table. I got very big bins in Ikea to put everything in there. So they are going to stay where they are, but a bit tidier. And another thing I want to do is to push the table towards the wall. The sewing room has only got 2 walls because I overlook a much bigger space, so I want to push it against the coral wall, so then I have more room on the other side. I could push it to the other side, but then I have a shelving unit I wouldn't know where to put because of that, because I'm missing walls and it goes against the wall. So over there I'm going to add a cloth hanger I got really cheap, like €9 in Ikea as well, because I think it's going to be useful for projects I'm working on or pieces of fabric, big pieces of material I've already washed and ironed, so I think that's going to be useful. And another thing I got is a lot of little storage bins in which I plan to put all my cottons. Why? Because I have them in 2 drawers and I think it's a waste of space. They are not completely full and I think I can rearrange them a bit better, so I can put them all in 1 drawer and in the other one I can put all the pressing and ironing goods. For example, the ironing cushions I did the other day, the pressing cushions, the ham and all that, and the my iron and things like that, so they don't collect dust and all this. And what about you? How often do you reorganize and rearrange your sewing room? Leave it down in the comments. I know all the big stuff won't fit in the tubs and neither will the leathers. That will remain on top, very nicely placed, not like this. I know there are pieces of material over there, so let's see what we find. So here I have pieces of material I'm not going to throw, but I'm going to take out of the bag and into the tubs. And once all of that is empty, I want to organize this properly because I want to also put in there that bag of little scraps and remnants I have, because I don't want to just throw them away. I have something in mind for them, so I have to make room. Everything fitted in the end. I'm quite pleased. So I have all the little samples here I've been giving in some occasions. I have upholstery stuff in here and some of the foam and some bits of baiting as well. And then I have in here scraps and a cushion. I don't know why, but there's a cushion there. So I'm going to clean all this so I can push the table to the corner and put the beans underneath. I just realized I've been doing all this with good clothes on, which is ridiculous, instead of doing it with sports stuff or cleaning stuff. So anyways, I got changed, so let's go on. So these are the beans. This is the one I have with scraps, the one with upholstery stuff, and this last one that lifts a little bit is the one that has foams inside. But it doesn't really matter because it's having this on top. Of course, this is a type of storage that is not pretty, but it is useful because everything is in its bins, so they don't get dusty and it's easy to clean and move around, so that's important. And of course, the leathers and faux leathers and plastics I put in one of the baskets I already had. It was my first attempt for a YouTube channel, and it was made out of 2 Ikea racks as well. And it's over there in the corner, and it doesn't really bother me there. I can open the drawers properly and everything, so that's good. So now with this corner, and this little corner is empty now, so it doesn't have much to do apart from putting together the rack. And another thing I have is a chair, so I'm going to create a nice little corner. So let's see how we can do this. That was fast, and now there's another little corner to sit and chat for a while, don't you think? And now that phase 2 is completed, let's go for the threads. And as for the threads, the plan is to put them in their tabs by colors. So let's start. What about all these yellow ones? One is already empty. Let's go to the next one. I've had to rearrange all of this a few times, and I don't know if it's going to fit in one drawer, but if it didn't, in the other one I have enough room to put the pressing cushions, I'll be happy. And these are all the threads in their trays. They are sorted by colors, and I have to use some perfume boxes because I couldn't manage to put all the pinks and all these wine colors in one of the little ones because there were too many of them. So I arranged them the best way I could: the blacks, the greys, the oranges and corals, the browns, and I have all the polyester in 2 trays. I didn't sort them by color, just they are there. I kept some of the old boxes and numbers of the threads because I think it's cute, and of course this one with pasting threads because it says pasting written by my grandma, so I couldn't get rid of that. And in this little one I have things, strange things that come in those sewing kits, and I think this one is for top stitching. It's really thick, so I have all the weird stuff there. And of course, taking advantage that I was doing all this, I declutter, and all the threads that were looking a bit messy or stained or faded, I put in a box, and maybe I can do some craft with them, but these are the good ones now. Everything is in its place now, and I'm really pleased with it. It is true that the drawers being a bit deeper, it's difficult to store all your threads because they are only little, and you are going to put trays on top of other ones. But what I did is that I left the ones that I'm not going to use as much underneath. For example, the yellow and the wine colors. And the good thing is that you can easily take them out, so it's not a problem to have a look at the different shades you have. And on this side I had to leave all the whites, the black ones, the greys, and the elastic ones are in the back because I don't use them that often or never. So that way I could manage to put all the new pressing accessories in the drawer, so that way they are not collecting dust in a basket or in a tray. So I think it's much better now. If you like this kind of video, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. I upload a video once a week, and that way you don't miss anything. And stick around because at the end there'll be a tour. Sewing rooms, like any other working space, are always changing because maybe you're organizing yourself in one way, and with time you realize that that's not working for you anymore because maybe you're working in a different way and you need different things to reorganize. So it's a continuous process. When I moved in the sewing room, I had the white table, my sewing table, as my cutting table, and this little desk with my sewing machine on top. And one of the chests of drawers from Ikea that are part of my cutting table now was here on this wall. So I didn't have much storage, the rest was a mess of bags and stuff everywhere. So that's why I like my cutting table that much, because it's the storage I have. This room is a bit weird because I only have 2 walls, so storage is a bit limited for a sewing room. The rest are little walls that overlook into a bigger space. It is a little wall and my light fell once the minute I put it on. So later on, when I decided to build this cutting table, I was really pleased with the amount of storage it provided, and it's really useful that it's not against the wall but in the middle of the room, because it's some empty space, otherwise you're not making the most of. And I also like that it sort of divides the room into two different spaces. This is like the design and study space, and the other one is clearly the sewing space. So on this side I have Marie Antoinette as well, and even though she's over there in that corner, she doesn't even bother me when I open the drawer, so that's good. And on those drawers I have all the paper stuff, felts and things I don't use that much, and on this side all the fabrics, and on the first drawer I still have all the stuff I have to mend. And of course I also love the bookcase in the back. It provides a background for the videos, but it's also a great area to put all the design, art, photography books, magazine, patterns and the rest of stuff I can't put anywhere else. And on this side of the sewing room I also have a mirror, which of course is really useful, and my great-grandma's sewing machine, which I have plans to thread one day and be brave and sew something with it.
I've been saying that for 2 years.
This little table is a cutie. It belonged to my grandfather, and even though it has the screen, it's not plugged to anything. I don't have a computer right now here, but in the future I will, I guess. So even though I don't use it that much, I do use the drawers because they have useful stuff I use every day. For example, all the makeup and the tag machines, all the different technology stuff, and some memories, some stuff that belong to my grandma as well. When you start adding things to the sewing room, I think you have to go little by little, and only when you need stuff, when you really think you're going to use it and it's going to make a great difference. For example, these tools. I bought these tools second hand in Marketplace, and I upholstered them and I cut the legs because they were ever so high. Any table that is next to a wall is going to accumulate loads of stuff over there in that corner. So what I did is that my mother-in-law gave me that, and I covered it in a vinyl, and then I have all my old burdas, some pattern books, and in the middle, so I can access both sides, I have the pins and the scissors. I also have the pattern weights and some more books as well. And as you have seen, in this side of the sewing room I have the sewing machines. The poor little Sergio needs a cover as well, doesn't she? My new little corner, and of course all the threads and the rest of the stuff. In the drawers below the threads I haven't changed anything. It's still all the zippers and elastic bands and bows and satin ribbons and things like that. And in the empty space that is between the drawers and the board of the cutting table, I have all the little felts that give the videos a different look and different colors from one to the other. And of course the French curves. Thank you so much for coming along this project. I hope you've enjoyed it and it was useful somehow. Don't forget to leave down a comment about how you organize your sewing room or how often. And don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps a lot and I would really appreciate it. I leave you 2 other videos very useful about how to organize your sewing room and another tour. See you around.